Welcome everybody to the PS3 version of Uncharted 3. So let's check out the special features. As you can see, the main menu is quite different in the original version.
Por favor, Guandi.
Wait, which version are you playing this on?
Thanks a lot. That's basically what
I
means.
played it for the PS4 remaster, obviously. However, since the special features were not on the PS4 version, I had to put up my old PS3 copy.
Uncharted 3, Drake's deception, Pedro's competence.
Dwib's arrogance.
Behind the scenes.
Uncharted 4 at Dwib's end.
Hey, is that guy, that last guy, just was he British?
Yeah, he is. Justin Raymond.
Yay!
Yeah. He was the lead designer of the game. He's actually one of the key figures of at Naughty Dog.
Cool.
Drake and Elena and Sully and Chloe.
Hey guys, no wonder Naughty Dog's been doing so good recently. It's run by a Brit.
Well, actually, one of the presidents is Canadian.
Well, Level 5 just hired a bunch of Brits.
Yeah, Welsh people specifically.
So we can, well, I was going to say we're going to do it properly, but actually no, the Welsh do have their things too. Yeah.
So
I spent my whole life mocking the Welsh. That's for when the Welsh are. That's going to be for the rugby on Saturday.
Excuse me for one moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. Since they don't have in-house producers, they really can't. Like if they fuck up, it's more severe on part of Sony because, of course, usually studios have in-house producers to make sure everything goes well, but they don't. So obviously, that's also what makes their games so much more genuine and feel like a lot of heart and originality put into it. The problem, of course, is that that also puts a lot of pressure on them. You better not fuck up, though. But otherwise, we'll have to put someone controlling you guys. You hear that, David Cage?
I think we say that almost every time we commentate on a Naughty Dog game.
No, but that's the thing, Joe. Remember, this game is full of violence, so clearly it is beneath the standards that video games should have.
Despite the fact that where somebody murders children and you have to cut off your own fingers.
Hey, how about that wondrous part where you see a kid drown? And
No, but it's just Roy. When Naughty Dog does it, when Naughty Dog and Rockstar do it, it's violence. When David Cage does it, it's art.
Art.
Oh, shut up.
I love my art. Oh, that was terrible, sorry.
So there you go. Yeah, basically they noticed how a lot of people responded really well to the train section of Uncharted 2. So they really wanted to make sure this game had more moments like that.
So we just put the climax of the game inside the box, on the box art.
So what was
Not
the
really.
complaint, then?
Not really.
It's just a broken plane in the background. It doesn't spoil anything.
Well, it does kind of spoil that there's going to be a plane crash, but then again, I guess we're arguing semantics.
Yeah, but the context of the plane crash.
Yeah, but Jovi, you see everything as a spoiler.
Context is
It's
everything.
like I said, Troy. At this point, we're just arguing semantics.
It's interesting you mentioned Justin Raymond was because, like we've seen from the playthrough, of all the Uncharted games, this is the one where we actually even are in London at the beginning and everything.
Yep, and in Uncharted 4, we're in Scotland at one point.
Yep. Maybe in Lost Legacy we'll go to Wales. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I think it's time for us to go to New York.
But Pokemon's already done that, therefore no other game can because that's against Pokemon rules.
New York.
When did Pokemon go to New York?
Unleashed did it. Yes. Before.
Sonic Unleashed did it.
Mario Odyssey is doing it.
So wait. Is New York really rich on ancient ruins?
Yeah,
have you seen National Treasure?
No.
I've seen Book of Secrets.
Yeah, the first one's actually not that bad. To be honest.
I've only ever seen the second one.
I haven't seen the second one.
The second one is
a repeat of the first one.
The second one's fine enough. It's not bad. It's okay. I will admit it has some things that are similar to that of the original, but it still feels like a nice adventure. There are some things I don't care about that, but I'll say that for the actual National Treasure 2 commentary.
But hey, Book of Secrets was worth it for Nicolas Cage.
So, and he was in the first one as well.
Yep.
So.
Yes, back when Nicolas Cage didn't have to resort to stuff like Left Behind.
I thought you were gonna say Ghost Rider.
I've heard Left Behind is like his absolute worst movie.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, if people say it's interesting. Some people consider comic book when a comic book movie's bad, that's like a worst movie of the year contender. But if you look past some of that stuff, then you'll find some big shit.
Okay, Lewis, we get it.
Get it. Let's just get back on topic.
Random question about this game. This was made by the B team of Naughty Dog, correct?
Yes, Neil Druckmann, Neil Druckmann, and Justin Raymond. Don't get me wrong; there are common members from the previous.
By B team, I'm not trying to put them down. I'm just
no. I know what you mean. It's just that there are It's not exactly like they have separate teams. There are common members between both teams. But yes, specifically Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley, the two big key developers of Naughty Dog right now, they didn't work on this game because they were busy with The Last of Us.
Did the same team also do Uncharted 4?
Yes, Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley had to take over Uncharted 4 because Amy Hennig, the creator of Uncharted, left development. Left Naughty Dog at the beginning of development.
I heard about that. Why did that happen?
She wanted to move on to different things.
Yeah, I'm just hoping. My biggest hope is that like a couple of years down the line, it doesn't turn out that it's just you know like those interviews.
That she doesn't pull a Yuji Naka, you mean?
Something like that.
No, not really. Actually, people actually asked her about it, and she specifically went out of her way to say it has nothing to do with anything of disagreement. I left in a completely friendly manner. It was just a friendly separation. Don't worry about it, guys.
Yeah,
and as we've proven before, she did leave the series in great hands anyway. So whatever.
Yeah, but Uncharted is essentially her baby, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I just feel as if I can respect creative decisions, but I feel like she probably should have stayed for this last one as her grandiose, if that's the right term.
She probably figured, whatever, Neil can handle it just fine. He's more than ready. So because Neil was kind of her protege of sorts, because Neil Druckmann's first work at Naughty Dog, if I remember correctly, was Jack Free. And later on, he actually went on to become even a writer already in the first Uncharted game. So he was always kind of her pupil sort of sorts. So that's probably why he was one who took over in 4.
Man, you're really informative with this stuff.
Well, I've been following Naughty Dog since the Crash Bandicoot days, and they're one of my favorite developers. So.
It helps to know these things. It helps to know these things. That way, we'll know who to thank for stuff, and we'll know who to blame for stuff.
But basically, that's the reason why I recorded this part. I always love when video games actually do the behind-the-scenes stuff like this, because I actually really like learning more about the development of games.
Yeah, same here. I just want. There's something fascinating about learning the development of a video game and the struggles that they go through.
Apparently, Druckmann's first game period that he made was back in 2004. It was this weird thing called, I don't know if it's just Wikipedia lying to me, but apparently the first game was called Dicky Penguin in TKO for the Third Reich.
That's not a Naughty Dog game, though. I was talking about the first game he worked on at Naughty Dog.
Yeah, but a bit weird having your first game involving the Third Reich.
Hey. There are weirder things to get into an industry. I mean, must I remind you how many voice actors started off with hentai?
Although, isn't hentai actually official? Just, you know.
Yeah, but they go under different names, like Mike Pollock, Dan Green, Veronica Taylor. There are some.
Oh god, now you've got me imagining us catch him in hentai.
To continue,
No, she pulls the May voice, which is worse.
To continue what I was saying, the same team that made Uncharted. To continue what I was saying, the B team, like Deji said, is now developing Uncharted Lost Legacy, whereas the A team is, of course, now doing Last of Us Part 2.
Well, where do you think they'll go? Like once Uncharted is said and done, and we're halfway towards The Last of Us and making a new IP.
They'll probably make a new IP. I mean, original when I don't know if you know this, but when Last of Us started development, it was actually supposed to be Jak 4. That was Neil Druckmann's first Naughty Dog game was going to be Jak 4, but eventually
and it looked terrible.
The thing that's why they realized that the game just was not going to be the game that the fans wanted, so they decided it would be much better if they just left enough alone.
Or you could make it cartoony instead of going with the realistic approach.
Well, honestly, Deji, considering how much of a fucking drastic change in tone and look the Jak 2 was compared to the first one, honestly, going from Jak 3 to what Jak 4 was apparently going to be, honestly, it wouldn't be the first time the Jak series does something like this, honestly. So honestly, it wouldn't feel that out of place to me.
There can be a limit to
basically, Shiro, to give you an idea, the first Jak and Daxter game is a typical lighthearted game with a simple story. But then Jak 2 completely went the Hedgehog. But don't worry, it's actually more well written.
I have heard this.
It's actually don't worry, it's actually well written. Unlike Shadow, it's just saying that basically it's like basically think of Jak 1 as Sonic Heroes and think of Jak 2 as Shadow the Hedgehog in terms of tone. I mean, not in terms of quality.
Well, if it's Sonic Heroes, then does it have good music?
All of the Jak games have great music, I think.
Personally, I find the Jak soundtrack to be incredibly forgettable.
I guess.
Granted, I'm pretty sure it's one of those things that it's much better if you're playing it than just listening to it on a what's the word? Atmospheric music.
Yeah, I think. Well, I do like the Jak and Daxter soundtracks. I will give you that. For example, Greg Edmondson, the composer of the first three Uncharted games, he does that better. So.
That shot earlier where Drake gave that other guy something over the snooker table. For a second there, I thought, when I first saw that, I thought for a second the big plot twist of this game was that guy is Nate's twin brother or something.
Well, look, it's Green Nate.
The Incredible Nate.
Oh, man. I'm not really liking the direction Marvel Phase 4 is going, guys.
Wait, you mean
that's random.
Wait, Marvel what? Oh, Phase 4. What's wrong with Phase 4?
What's wrong with Phase 4?
The joke is Nathan Drake as Hulk.
Oh, right. That flew over our heads.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, yeah, I'll let this particular part of the story.
I know this is somewhat old news, about like a month old, but you heard about the Uncharted movie scripts being finished, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I have.
I'm a bit worried because, well, it's Sony. I mean, Sony is so shit with dealing with their own properties. I mean, look at how the Ratchet and Clank movie turned out.
Not only that, it's a video game movie.
Well, Ratchet and Clank wasn't made by Sony; they licensed it out.
True, but but that goes to show how little they cared, though. I mean, with Uncharted, I don't. If the rumors are true and Sony is actually planning on selling Sony Pictures,
to CBS, maybe the movie might get canceled.
Well, it'd have to be. I mean, I doubt Sony would sell a game things to someone else.
They did with Ratchet and Clank, though.
And not to mention, I've heard it was only Columbia Pictures who are planning on selling off. I think their other little studios will be around, like TriStar and that.
Oh, they have other studios? I thought it was just Columbia.
Yeah, no, they have TriStar, Screen Gems. They have smaller studios.
Alright.
I'm just wondering how that's going to impact the deal they have with Marvel, if that's true.
They'll probably have to sell Spider-Man off completely. Probably.
Which is fine with me.
Yeah, fine with me. I mean, I'll be quite honest. Sony as a movie picture studio lately has really been dropping the ball outside of actually getting that deal with Disney.
Well, must I remind you that they canceled the Popeye movie by Gendy Travovatsky?
Oh yeah, that movie actually looked really. That movie actually looked really
good.
cool. Yeah, it looked good. I was actually looking forward to that.
And seriously, why would you cancel a movie made by the one man these days that's actually able to get a good Adam Sandler flick out? I mean, seriously.
I can sort of explain. Remember when DreamWorks was like letting people go?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
They got someone who was like higher up at DreamWorks, who's the last movie she was involved with, or one of the last movies she was involved with, was Mr. Peabody and Sherman. So she just thought, like, you know what, maybe we don't need, and because like how that didn't do well, they were thinking, you know what, maybe we don't need a retro revival.
So you're telling me that they brought someone who had the stupid mentality that DreamWorks had at the time that people don't want these kind of films?
That's the logic Disney used for cancelling Tron 3 just because Tomorrowland was a major flop.
It's a bit different, but yeah, they're similar.
Not just that, like I said before, I actually really liked the Mr. Peabody and Sherman movie. As a big fan of the original cartoon, I actually thought it was a really good adaptation. Not perfect,
it was
but
one
it
of
was.
It was one of those films that fell to the nasty poison of nobody went to see it.
So it's sad because 2014 was probably the best year DreamWorks has had in quite a while, because How to Train Your Dragon 2 was fucking amazing, and Mr. Peabody and Sherman, while not as good, was still really good, I thought.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
How many kids these days have even heard of Mr. Peabody and Sherman?
And that's the mentality they have.
Well, but that's the thing, Dwebs. The movie completely and perfectly explains the characters and the origin.
But just because that happens, don't mean they're going to go and watch it straight away.
Well, let's be honest, Dwebs. The main reason nobody went to see that movie was because it was placed badly movie-wise.
Yeah,
that's the first and foremost.
What was it up against?
I think Winter Soldier.
I'll look it up.
It was up against a Marvel movie. That's all you need to know.
Well, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Actually, Daddy, in that case, it depends on where it was. Because remember, us here in the UK got Captain America: Winter Soldier a lot earlier than the US did.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, Dwebs, though, they're mainly talking about initial ticket sales for Mr. Peabody and Sherman when nobody went to see it.
Not to mention, Dwebs, DreamWorks is an American studio, so domestic sales are the most important, specifically American ticket sales are most important to them.
Yeah, like for example, believe it or not, the only reason Last Airbender actually was good was not because of domestic sales, but because of Russian ticket sales. Yet, despite that, there's a reason that movie hasn't gotten a sequel, because domestically, it was horrible, to say the least.
Alright, it came out the same week. Actually, it was nowhere near Winter Soldier. It came out around... Other films were like 71, The Monuments Men, Two Men in Town, and Vampire Academy.
Which nationality are you talking about?
US.
Wait, hold on. Which month was that?
March. No. February, sorry.
Wait. Hold on. Now I need to check this.
I'll check too.
And
March 7th.
March 7th, Mr. Peabody. March 13th.
It was competing against such box office giants as API and Chef.
Anyway, let's try to bring this back into the topic.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll be quite honest. This isn't one of the most charismatic talkers here.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There's one of the more charismatic ones. History and reality.
Uncharted 5, Feudal Japan.
That would be interesting.
He's referencing Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, we'll get to Japan in form of Uncharted before Assassin's Creed does it.
Oh, silly Desi. Nobody wants an Assassin's Creed game in feudal Japan. Nobody! Except for those who like the side
there you go. There you go, guys. There's a reason why Naughty Dog games have such an obsessive amount of detail. They literally just said that most of us there are OCD, anal retentive.
Oh,
What?
I don't blame them.
What does that mean?
means they're upset.
And they're
basically, it means that they're obsessed with every little detail, and yeah, like Deji said, perfectionists.
Yeah.
Which I can't blame them, considering their line of work.
And like I said before, they're under more pressure than other AAA studios because they don't have in-house producers that are there controlling them.
You know, Sony did, the best thing Sony ever did was buying Naughty Dog.
Definitely. To this day, Naughty Dog is still their most prized developer, who people usually always rely on for great games.
It's the only one that they haven't closed.
Well, they've owned them since 2001.
Oh, not really. Japan Studio is still around.
Yeah.
I mean, there's...
do they own Insomniac or no?
No, they don't. Insomniac is a partner. Basically, okay, it's basically like this. The Ratchet & Clank IP does belong to Sony, but Insomniac itself doesn't. That's
alright.
Basically, if Sony wanted, they could make a Ratchet & Clank game without Insomniac. It's just that they know better, fortunately.
Well, their game division does anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm talking about the game division specifically.
Who made Size Matters?
What now?
Ratchet & Clank, you mean?
Yeah.
Insomniac. Insomniac made pretty much all of them.
That game was
at least all of the PS3 ones, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure they made all the PS3 ones, didn't they, Whips?
Size Matters actually was done by High Impact Games.
Oh god, not High Impact Games. For those who don't know, basically, Jova, High Impact Games was the developer who made the Jack and Daxter 4, quote unquote. Okay.
All right, moving on.
You know,
that. Ugh.
Okay.
What happened?
Let me explain. Shiro, you still there, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, basically, Shiro, Naughty Dog, of course, made the free the free Jack and Daxter games that you can get on the PS3 right now if you want. So be sure to get those. However, later on in 2009, there was a fourth game called The Lost Frontier for the PS2 and PSP. It was not made by Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog wasn't even involved in it. It was made by High Impact Games. And, Jova, you want to take this one since you're more of a Jack fan than me?
Okay. Flashback to that time. Jak 4 was coming out. Everyone was so excited for it. Only to be treated to one of the most god-awful, what the heck were you thinking moments in gaming. Okay, seriously, let's talk about the difficulty. You thought Jak and Daxter 2 was bad with its difficulty? Well, here's Jak and Daxter 4 to show you. Oh no, we can get a lot worse.
We've broken him.
Much worse. Then, don't even get me started on how it completely screws up in the writing department. How do you manage
Pedro, I'm scared. I've never seen him like this.
Don't worry. He'll finish quickly. Go ahead,
and yeah, basically to cap things off, it wasn't nearly as exciting as the rest of the series, and I'm going to save the rest of what's wrong with that game when we actually get to commentating on it.
Yes.
Let's just say, though, Jak and Daxter 4 is one of the worst number 4 sequels of a series
technically it doesn't have the number 4. The real Jak 4 was supposed to be coming eventually, but
you know what I mean.
Story-wise, it takes place after 3, so for all intents and purposes, it is Jak 4.
Don't you mean Jack Axis technically?
Well, Jack X is more of a spin-off than anything, but sure.
It's kind of continuation though.
It is, but it's more of a spin-off because it's a racing game, but whatever. The point is,
I will admit, I did like the
It's continuity. It's not technically a spin-off.
it is really good, but it is really good anyway. So whatever. Basically, Shiro, you know how a lot of people, when people talk about Sonic Adventure 3, people of course say we already have Sonic Adventure 3. It's called Sonic 06. Basically, Lost Frontier is basically what we usually. We already had Jack 4, and it sucked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Shiro, you'll get. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Who's handling Lost Frontiers for the channel anyway?
You.
Well, I have them on the PS.
I don't have a game, Deji.
I'll play them. I have the HD collection on the PS3, so I can play the better versions even. So.
Deji, I played the game over at my cousin's. I beat it, and then I just ran away and never looked back.
Jeez.
Deji, you trust me, Deji. I was a big Jack and Dexter fan back in the day.
Exactly. Well, the thing is,
And
Joe,
that game.
that brings up a good point.
That game.
Hold on, this one is about the story. So
this.
hold on, this one is about the story.
Oh, hi, Chloe.
Uncharted 3 has some big shoes to fill. Uncharted 2, we were very lucky. We got like tons of awards for it. It's sort of like, where do we go now? You know? What the hell?
I'd like to imagine that's exactly how the meeting went down.
Yeah.
With somebody
I really
having a
felt
bloody
that.
shirt and everything.
I really felt that Chloe was underutilized in this game.
Well-
so I'm glad that she's in.
Well,
the
now
lot,
she's
but-
getting her own game.
Yeah.
You mean Tomb Raider? We're getting a new Tomb Raider game, guys.
Except it'll probably be good.
Actually, Shiro, the last two Tomb Raider games were good. I mean,
Exactly.
I didn't like the writing, but the gameplay was good.
Yeah, everyone tells me that
I
those
agree.
reboots were good.
Although I
Yeah.
gotta say though, the gameplay was getting a bit stale with the second reboot game. As in,
Rise of the
really
Tomb Raider, you
didn't-
mean?
You know what I mean? Yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
The
Don't
gameplay's
worry.
still good, but it's definitely seeming to sort of edge on the bout of. Well,
I guess that's why Crystal Dynamics are doing the Marvel game.
Yeah, I was going to
Take a
say
break
that
from them.
the Tomb Raider series is going to be on a break because they're making Marvel games for now. Same thing with Deus Ex Machina.
Do you mean Deus Ex with Eidos
Yeah.
Montreal?
Yeah, they're also making Marvel games as well. So.
Surprisingly, Assassin's Creed also seems to have gone on a break. I just realized they haven't been spamming yearly installments.
Because
for
we
once.
had a movie, don't you see?
There you go, John Scher. This is the guy who is
So that's
going
what he looks like.
Yeah, John Scher is the one who's going to be directing Lost Legacy.
Goody.
Cool. Is he writing it too?
I don't know.
When is Lost Legacy coming out?
I think this year.
Oh.
It's using the Uncharted 4 engine, so it'll be much quicker to develop.
Is it a standalone game? Or
It was originally going to be a originally the plan was going to be to make a DLC episode for Uncharted 4, the same way that Left Behind was done for The Last of Us. However, eventually, as they were making it, they had more ideas about it, and eventually the scale grew, and it became its own full-fledged game.
Oh god, they went the Super Mario Galaxy 2 route.
Not really. I mean, it even has different main characters and everything. So I'm pretty sure whatever the DLC episode was planning, they probably dropped that mid-development. Because
It's gonna be Sam and Sully.
Yeah, basically she's giving credit to the actors because the actors are some of the ones who come up with most of the best lines with improv.
This relationship. You have these actors who have played these characters now for the third game in a row, and they know these characters, and build these characters really from scratch. It's really interesting to see them get to really kind of.
We have a 5-year break in between 3 and 4, except for Nil and North.
These actors are getting a chance to sort of explore the corners of who these actors are, or who these characters are.
Oh, here's the scene.
You don't know me. You know, we come up with some ideas on the spot. We'll try them out, and if they end up working, then we'll use them. I mean, probably one of the best examples
Oh, here you go.
first game when Nolan and Emily had a scene where Elena's character had just caught up with Nathan Drake's character, and she was pissed off, and we ran the scene a few times, and Emily just said, "Hey, I feel like I've been here." Yeah, okay, that might be funny. So, we get in this.
Whack.
And, of course, it worked great.
It reminds me of how how Harrison Ford came up with the line that Han Solo says in Empire Strikes Back. I know, like it's always
Because originally he was supposed to say "I love you too," but he was like, "You know what? That doesn't fit."
I know.
yeah, the original. Yeah, that's interesting. That they tried that takes, and the director Irvin Kershner was like, nothing satisfied me. And then he eventually turned to Harrison Ford and he said, Harrison, don't think about it. Okay, action. Don't think about it. And then he just went, I know. And Irvin was like, yeah, that's a great line. That's Han Solo.
One of the best moments in cinema history are the ones done by complete accident or unintentional.
Yeah.
Like when in Dark Knight, when the Joker blows up the hospital. Apparently,
I love that scene. One thing that I love about that scene is how he leaves the hospital and then it's like, he spreads his arms.
That's actually a behind-the-scenes gag because originally they were supposed to go off, but it wasn't working, so Ledger improvised it.
If Ledger was so fucking awesome in that movie, anyway.
Or I can't remember that movie, that black and white movie we did such a long time ago.
Oh God.
Plan 9 out of space.
Where at the end the guy accidentally gets out of the wheelchair.
oh, you mean Dr. Strangelove? Dr. Strangelove.
Sorry, what? You cut out.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened.
It was an accident that was improvised.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me that there was an accident in a
Stanley Kubrick film.
No,
in a Stanley Kubrick movie, and he actually let that go.
It's because it was hilarious. It was because it was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
The thing about Dr. Strangelove is that when he was shooting that movie, he literally gave Peter Sellers the ability to just do whatever he wanted on stage because he was so funny that he allowed Peter to improv a lot. No, that's just
this is the same Stanley Kubrick we're talking about,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. No, that's the thing, Jova. Stanley Kubrick completely fell in love with Peter Sellers' comedic improvisation.
Wow. I'm just amazed, though. I mean, Stanley Kubrick letting people do their own thing. Well,
it wasn't the only time he did that. It was a similar thing with Lee Hermie. We want to tell that story, Lips?
Yeah. Basically, during the making of Full Metal Jacket, when they were doing the audition bit, Hermie recorded himself shouting or barking at people while people were throwing fruit at him. And Kubrick was so impressed by that, he let him improvise lines, which is something very rare in a Kubrick film, especially ones that Kubrick himself writes. Because there have been some Kubrick movies where he didn't touch the script at all.
Oh yeah,
like
that also
Spartacus.
reminds me of how he let the villain who played Alex in Clockwork Orange improvise with that singing in the rain.
Yeah, that was also improvised by him. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there are any examples like that in Eyes Wide Shut. Like, was there a scene where, I don't know, Tom Cruise said, "No, I don't want to run."
I wonder how lucky those people must feel when the great Stanley Kubrick, of all people, actually lets them improvise and not have them do another retake.
Alright, take 87. Oh, Stanley, we've done this scene for 3 hours. No.
One of the things you want to do is and his background, his personality, his relationship with Sullivan, how that came to be. But also, it says something about his process about how he is in the present, just like it does for all of us, right?
Well, yeah.
I want to make sure we're doing this for the right reasons.
Turns out you were.
Making you reckless.
I've always perceived Drake as someone who has some issues about loss and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, about that. Okay.
Yeah.
I get. Wow, I guess a lot of her writing did stay true for Uncharted 4 then, because oh boy.
No. She, like I said, she was the one who started as director of Uncharted 4, and she did write the basic story. Neil just took over from that point on. But the original story that Amy came up with is still there.
I still think that there was a major change that wasn't supposed to happen, but I'll explain after we're done.
Sure.
You've got like a few hundred people working there.
Unlike most AAA developers, sadly.
Yeah. A little bit of history, by the way. When Jack and Andy, the original founders of Naughty Dog and the creators of Crash and Jack and Dexter, left, Evan Wells and I forgot the other guy's name, but the two co-presidents of Naughty Dog right now. They were handpicked by Jason and Andy and recommended to Shuhei Yoshida of Sony. Have these guys be the new president, take over for us. They're more than capable. So basically, Yoshida, of course, continue. Yoshida was actually, basically, if you go on PlayStation's YouTube channel, check out an awesome comment about Naughty Dog's, I think it was 30 years that they said. Yeah, 30 years of Naughty Dog, where Yoshida tells that story, where he values the Naughty Dog's creative spirit. Which is why he allowed Jason and Andy to pick the next presidents themselves. But go ahead.
You know what was sad about Jason Rubin though?
Yeah.
Well, one of the more recent things he did was he tried his damnedest to try and keep THQ from going under. And
Yeah, that was sad. Yeah.
He tried.
Well, by that point, hey guys, let's do the U-Jaw. I'm sure people will buy that in droves, right? But THQ is still kind of sort of
sad thing that happened to. Like I said, it's like seeing what became of the team who originally did Bubsy 3D in reverse, going from riches to rags.
Hey, don't worry, guys.
Would you say that's greatness from small beginnings?
Don't you mean some great?
But hey, guys, don't worry. THQ is still kind of sort of with us, albeit they're just Nordic Games dressed up as THQ.
Anyway, so that was.
Give us the blob.
All right, and now we're officially done with the Uncharted 3 playthrough. Sic Parvis Magna, everybody.
Yes, join us next time. We're going to be doing The Last of Us, and then after that, you'll get to see me ruin everything for Uncharted 4.
Goody. See you then.
See ya.
Yeah.